don't really have this question. Hey folks, just trying to see if sound is working, and I think we are good. Yep, I can kind of see the comments popping up. Question for TEG. 2 negative 1 1. Oh, might have made a mistake. Right, team, how are we going? Sorry about what is it? Monday, I think it was. I was pretty not well. I'm still not recovered, but it's just one of these painful little headaches that's not seem to going away at any time, at any point. So November 9th is going to be out. I don't think, Jamie, that's going to be a possibility. That's part of the reason why I just did that whole revamp of that bearings video that I just released, which is an old one, but I just summarized it just because I know it'll help people out. Now, is this our last session, level 1 TEG? Oh no, I've got another 6th November, and then we've got 2 more sessions. What is it that you guys want to work on? Like, if you have any questions, that you can just send it to my email. That would be really easy. Stacy, no real tips, just practice. That's all I can say. I thought I had a couple of questions from TEG, but it just seems like some people have just sent me some really simple questions. But if you guys have any questions, you can email it to me, and then I can actually do it. Which part of exponential are you talking about? I thought I saw a level 1 question somewhere. I just can't remember where I saw it. Okay, here we go. Can we do parabola word questions? All right, let me just see what I can find. Parabola word questions. Exponential graphs. 10 feet. Okay, let's try doing this one here. So, parabolic word. 100 feet from this. Find the length of the supporting wire that is 100 feet from the center. Love it. Okay, here's a couple of questions for you guys to get started. James, I don't know why I can't remember the name. James, I'm sorry. Marco, I mean, like, that's dedication, Marco, during the holidays to actually pop up to all of those tutorials, and we had your name the whole time through, and there we go. Questions are popping up, people. So we got 2 kind of there's got to be the second part of this question, which should be coming up, but here is a really quick, come on. Yeah, so we're going to start off with this word question here. Real simple, but we need to come up with the equation first. And once you come up with the equation, then I would like you to do the second part of the question, which is part B. Oh, that's not the right one I'm looking for. So let's try this one here to start off with. And then what I will do is, time wise, you guys got about 8:09. So we'll go through this question at about 11 past 8. So I'll give you guys about 90 seconds to try and work this question through. Anna, that's the ARX plus C is one for exponential. This is actually a quadratic. Terry, you could try vertex. I think vertex form is probably the easiest one to do it, but it also depends on where you decide to put your X and Y axis. So what do we miss? Oh, Niall. Sorry, I missed that comment there, Niall. So this is just a heads up for Niall here. So Niall, I think it was Niall, if you head down to just the level 1 exams, just at my main homepage, when you click on the homepage, you're going to have level 1 exams and revisions. TEG, all of the old exams are there. All the live streams from the past 5 years is there, and same with geometric reasoning. There's plenty of resources there for you to kind of go through. I would actually go through this first because that gives you a lot of confidence with the actual TEG skills, and then you can actually watch through these videos there. It's like Minecraft. ZC, I don't think it matters where you put the X and the Y axis in this case, because it's like it doesn't matter where you put it. So you could have actually had your X and Y axis look like this, or some people would have done something like this as well. It really depends. As long as the answer for part B is correct, you're going to actually see that it actually works out fine either way, wherever you put that center of that like center of those X and Y axes. It doesn't matter where you put it as long as the final answer comes through. All right, so I'm gonna start doing I'll start doing it this way first. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to put it like this, and I'm gonna have the cable look like this. So if this is the case for the cable, then I know that this is going to be 60. This point here is going to be at 400, and then this point here, now that's at 10. Halfway between 400 and 0 is 200. I'm not sure. I think this is probably just be like a merit question, but like I think I'll show you guys what an excellence one could look like. So we're going to do vertex form here. So to do vertex form, we're going to put in y is equal to a x minus h squared plus v. Now this particular point here is the vertex, which happens to be 210. So the h is equal to 200 and the v is equal to 10. Now we did quite a few of these types of problems about a few tutorials back. So if you are kind of lost in this part and you're like, I don't know what the hell is this guy talking about, I would recommend you guys to go and have a look at that previous tutorials that we did. So here we're going to have our equation as y is equal to a x minus 200 squared plus 10. Now once we have that equation, we need to figure out what the a value is. So to figure out what the a value is, we're going to substitute a point. Now the point I'm going to choose is 460. So 460 is this point here, which is 460. Now I could also use if I wanted to, I could use 0, 60 as well. So it wouldn't matter which one I use, because either one I use, I can actually end up getting the A value anyway. So with that, I've got 60 equals A times 400 minus 200 squared plus 10. Rearranging this, I'm going to get 60 take away 10 equals A times 400 minus 200 is 200 squared. So I've got 50 equals to A times 200 squared, and then A is equal to 50 divided by 200 squared. So if that's the case, then my equation for the cable is going to be Y is equal to 50 over 200 squared multiplied by X minus 200 squared plus 10. So what I'm going to do is, as usual, I will put some line numbers, and I'll ask you guys if there's any questions that we have in this particular so far with what I've done. Do you have any questions? Jesus. No, I think coming up with the equation is probably unachieved. Sunny Jiang, you can actually have it as a decimal. That's not a problem at all. So yeah, you could have actually simplified it. Like, I mean, I know some people, you could have done this straight away. So you could have done 500 divided by 20 squared, which is this ugly looking number, or you could have done it as 1 over 800 as well. Oliver Harris, you could have done it 40,000 or 200 squared. It doesn't really matter. But why don't we solve 200 squared? Yeah, I think a lot of you guys are asking 200 squares. It doesn't matter, guys, because you could have actually left the equation like that as well. It's not like you're gonna get faulted for that. No, you won't get downgraded for that. I'll have a look at it for that email question. Gabriel, I think you might want to have a look at the vertex form tutorial, because yeah, hang on a second, I'll be right back. Oh, thank you, Jonathan. I didn't realize that, but you didn't need to. Hang on a second. That's all right. I was wondering why the door opened. All right, go listen to that one. Sorry guys, I had somebody snuck in to just come and have a chat with me. What did I miss there? Jonathan, oh thank you Jonathan, but honestly you didn't have to. Trust me, YouTube takes a very large cut, so look after yourself and buy yourself a nice coffee or something. Okay, so can you use the point 060 to substitute the XY instead of 460? Sonia Lee, yes you can. You would still get the same answer, so that's all good. Nah, Claire, I think I was just, I'll put my son to sleep, but he's woken up from, so he just came by just to kind of have a chat with me. Try to put him back to sleep, but he's now reading his book. Yes, Anna, if you were to use 060, if I was to use 060, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to get 60 equals A, 0 minus 200 squared plus 10. Then I'm going to get 60 minus 10 equals A times minus 200 squared. 50 equals A. Now remember, this is minus 200 square. So if I do minus 200 square, it's going to be the same thing as saying 200 square, because there's going to be a bracket around that minus 200. So it's going to be 40,000. And if I do 200 squared, it's still going to be 40,000. So I'm going to get A times, I guess we can say 40,000, which is 50 over 40,000 is equal to A. So yeah, so the negative 200 squared is pretty much, it's going to be 40,000 anyway. Now, ZC, I don't think you should get 800. You should get 1 over 800. I didn't divide it by 50 to put it on the side. No, Kai, all I did was 60 minus 10. 60 minus 10 is 50. Cool. So now I've done the first part of the question, which is just the equation. Now the question is actually asking us to find out what is the length of the supporting wire that is 100 feet from the center. Now 100 feet from the center. Now this is the center here. So if we go 100 feet this way, you could have 300, or you could go this way and you would have 100. So it doesn't matter whether you substitute 100 or 300. You are going to get the same value in this case. So I'm going to use 300. So if x equals to 300, I'm going to try and figure out what y is. So I've got y is equal to 50 over 40,000, which I can't be stuffed now. I'm just going to put it as 1 over 800. And then x is 300. So 300 take away 200 squared plus 10. So I'm going to get y is equal to 1 over 800. 300 minus 200 is 100 squared plus 10. So doing this in the calculator, I'm going to get 100 squared divided by 800 equals to this, plus 10 equals to 22.5. So I can say that the supporting wire is 22.5 feet. Ben, yes, there is a way to use a graphics calculator. That's a really good good question to ask. So Ben, if you want to use the graphics calculator, so I might as well do this, guys, because I mean we are here and we've got a graphics calculator. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 3 points. Remember, for a parabola you're going to need 3 points. So I've got 0, 60, 210, then I have 460. Those are my 3 points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to menu, go into stat mode, and I'm going to punch in all my x values, which is 0, 200, 400. Then I'm going to punch in all my y values, which is 60, 10, and 60. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on graph 1, and as you can see, there is a parabola shape right there. So I'm going to click on calc, and there's a button here that says x squared, and I'm going to click on that. Now what you will get is you're going to get this 1.25 e to the power of -3, which is basically the a value. So if you think about it like this, your equation could be written like this: 1.25 times 10 to the power of -3 x squared minus 0.5x plus 60. So all I've done is I've got those ABC values, and then I'm like good to go. So I'm just going to click on copy for now, and I'm going to copy it onto this particular function y1. So when I go into graph mode now, it should be there. There it is. And I always end up, I don't know why it does this, but it always does this. I think it's because of the multiply. Let me try that. Yeah. So here is my parabola. And what I could do is I could actually go gsolve, and I could actually click on something called xcal and ycal. Now if I wanted to put y calculation, I put in the x value, which equals to 300, which is what we did in our original question. And as you can see, that y value is actually 22.5 when x is equal to 300. So this is how to do this question purely with graphics calculator. That's pretty much everything under the red line is done with the graphics calculator. All right, any questions with that? Otherwise, I think somebody told me that they had sent me a question. Sam, you talked to me about shifting parabolas and shifting exponentials. Now, I know that in the last tutorial, I think I did a bit of that. So if you go to the 23rd tutorial in this playlist, 23rd of October, we actually did the whole shifting ones right at the end. How to shift parabolas and also exponential graphs. All right. So have a look at that last bit of that video on the 23rd of October. That should help you with shifting parabolas and exponential. So check, I'm just going to respond to you, but check 23rd October. Sammy, yep, I think I've talked to you, Sam. I've messaged it to you, Sammy. TEG, how do you answer paragraph questions? So, paragraph questions, I'm trying to understand what this person's actually asked. So, I'm trying to understand. Sometimes you guys get questions like with parabolas where they ask you like what would happen if you adjust the a value and so on, and I think I'm trying to think of it. Yes, I do, Claire. I do live down on the way of airports. Okay, let me show you guys this particular kind of idea, all right? Because I think sometimes it's trying to explain paragraph questions doesn't actually make sense, but we're going to use this bridge question, right? So let's go. We just did this bridge question, so I want to actually do that. Just bear with me, guys. I'm just going to write this all up. Y equals 1 over 800 x minus 200 squared plus 10. Okay, so here is my graph. X-axis needs to go from 0 to, let's make this about 510. Y is going to go till about 7, let's go 100. Okay, so now our original pillars is between y is equal to x is equal to 0, and this is between 0 and 60. Copy, Control V, x is equal to 400. No, probably not this. Let's go green. Okay, so what I need to do next is, give me a second, I just want to pull this out. Okay, so what we've got here is, I just want to kind of show you guys with this question like that I've just done here. What if they kind of ask you this question where they say, okay, so what happens if they decide to do something like where they increase the height of these final ropes to about 80? So they could ask you like, how would you change the graph? How would you change the graph so that instead of now it being 60 high, that it's going to become 80 high? So here's like, I hope I'm trying to make sense there, because that bridge has like cables going all through here. So they might ask a question is like, what if the cables are not 80? How would you adjust the graph so that it actually fits in? So there's a couple of things you can do. The first step is, this is your original graph. What you could do is you could have the graph doing this, where you could actually say, okay, you can actually increase by shifting the graph up by another 20 units. So if you increase the graph by 20 units, then what's going to happen is you're going to end up with the graph actually going through here. But that minimum height is now changed. It's no longer 10, but that minimum height is now 30. So if they say, but if they want to maintain that same minimum height as 30, then what you'll have to do is you will actually have to change the A value. And really what you're trying to do is you're actually trying to make that parabola, see how it's wide like this? You're trying to actually make it a bit more skinnier. And if you want to make it a bit more skinnier, what you'll have to do is you actually have to change the A value. Now, right now, the A value is 1 over 800. Now, 1 over 800, as we saw, it was a really horrible looking number. But notice what happens if I change this from 1 over, instead of 1 over 100, if I do it as 100 over 800, that graph is actually too skinny. But if I go 10, that's still too skinny. So it's kind of saying like you want to increase the A value so that it still has that. So it's not even 1, it's not even 2. Even at 2, it's not actually going to work out. So I might try like, you know, there we go, 1.4, maybe 1.4 there. That's just like a random guess, but it seems like it's actually working. So those kind of paragraph questions, what you could say is like, okay, so you've got two options. If the height of that final pole is no longer 60, but it's 80, then you could move the entire graph up by 20, like how I did in the purple. So that's moving it up by 20. Or your second option would be is to adjust the A value. So if you make the A value a little bit bigger, then that means what happens to the graph is that the graph actually becomes a lot more skinnier. Sorry, I missed all the body shaming, the parabola shaming comments there. So hopefully that kind of helped that person that would what was I gonna say? I'm gonna OneNote. Yes, I do have the link of the OneNote. I'll share that to you. Share. Sorry, I missed all of the comments there apart from that. Okay, so how do you work out the A value? That's a really great question, right? So if you want to work out the A value, remember, originally the point you used was 460. But the new point, because it's actually moved up by 20, so if you want to make sure that this graph actually goes like this, where it's going to cut across 80 like that, then all you have to do is remember you're going to use 480 instead of 60. So we're going to use the exact same equation, and I'm going to be super lazy because I know that 480 is going to be the new number. So I'm basically going to go to line 5 that I did before. Line 5 was 60 minus 10. Here I'm going to get 80 minus 10 equals A times 200 squared. 70 is equal to A times 200 squared, and I've got 70 over 200 squared is equal to A. So if I do the A value in the calculator, I should get close to 1.4. So I've got 70 divided by 200 squared, and well, it's giving me 1.75. Did I make a mistake? 80, 480. No, that should be all correct. Oh, actually no, you're right, because I actually put this 1.4. Hang on, let me show you guys what I mean by. So if you look at the actual number I had 1.4 divided by 800. So if I do 1.48 divided by 800 in my calculator, I should get the same answer. So let's try that. So if I go 1.4 divided by 800, so there you go. That's telling me that I've got that A value, which is, this is the A value that I'm getting. But so you can actually say change the A value to 1.4 over 800, or this 1.75 times 10 to the power of 3, which will actually give you that keeps that same distance from the bottom, which is 10 meters, but it actually kind of squeezes the parabola a bit more so that you get that extra 20 feet high up there. Yes, Sky, you are allowed to draw on the exams like diagrams and stuff like that. Test vertex form works really easy, but intercept form is the next best thing that you should probably looking at. Twinkle, translating, yeah, I'm just wondering, hang on. I don't know what question that was, Infinity, because I don't know who sent me, I don't know which question it's yours. Oh, James, I'd have done it for free, man. I'd have done it for free. Can't see. Should we learn the difference? No, that's all fine. Yeah, we're gonna move on. We're gonna do. Yep, I see it, Peggy. I got it. I'll open it up. All right, one more. We're kind of keeping up with the theme of parabolas at the moment, so I'm gonna put another parabola question. Lovely question, this one. Now, the only thing, Peggy, that question there, I just can't figure out whether that negative 0.5 is in front. Okay, let's just see what happens. We might actually try and do it both ways. Vishal, we did a question like that recently as well. I think in the last tutorial we did that. Okay, I'm assuming this equation here, I'm just going to write the equation down. I get a feeling this was the equation, which they've actually given. So I'll leave this question for you guys, and I'm going to give you guys maybe about 2 to 3 minutes to try and answer it, and then we'll actually go through the answer. What do you do when it says to compare using equations, graphs, and table? Jordan, we did that in the last tutorial where we had a look at a couple of questions, and I showed you guys how to do it with tables, equations, and graphs. Sorry, this kind of spiked up. Which question is that, citizen? us. I'm pretty. There is a video. We'll see, Ethan. I'm just keeping an eye on the clock at the moment. Prod, if you can't understand the question, then my suggestion is to draw a diagram. Like, I don't think you need a graph paper if you wish to use it. I don't think you need a graph paper. I usually just do it kind of rough here. Be back, guys. You all right, mate? Having problems. Sorry, team. Boy's actually having problems sleeping today. Fireworks. So anyway, look, I'm gonna kind of do this question and then I'm gonna call it a night, guys, because I've got to go look after the boy. So lost this thing. It now goes not as high. Okay, so what we've got here is we've actually got a rocket that's traveling with the heights actually given. So we know that this is a negative parabola, right? Because you've actually got negative 0.15, so that means the parabola is going to be upside down. So if the parabola is going to be upside down, I know that this is the shape it's going to kind of have. Now the next thing I know is I know that the rocket is got a vertex. So vertex is that point there, which is going to be at 5.4. That much I know. I can also assume that this right here is, I should have done this better. So this is probably the parabola shape. Now John wants the rocket to go over the garage, which is 2.6 meters tall and 5 meters wide. Okay. How far from the garage should John? So 2.6 meters tall. Okay. So if it's 2.6 meters tall, basically I want to know at what point is that going to be 2.6 meters. And then I'm thinking 5 meters is going to be something like that. So that's the garage right there. So all we're going to do is we're actually going to put h is equal to 2.6, and we're going to find out what is x at that point. Now I don't have the full part of this question, but I think that we've got enough here to try and do this. So let's give it a crack. So if I do that, I am going to get 2.6 is equal to negative 0.15 x minus 6 squared plus 5.4. Now I know the last time we did this I kind of messed up a little bit, but what we're going to do is we're going to actually rearrange this equation, and we should be actually good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 2.6 take away 5.4, and we're going to get negative 0.15 x minus 6 squared. So 2.6 take away 5.4, whatever that is. So 2.6 take away 5.4 is negative 2.8 equals negative 0.15 and x minus 6 squared. Next, I'm going to do negative 2.8 divided by negative 0.15, and this gives me x minus 6 squared. So carrying on with this, I'm going to just kind of rewrite it like this. So negative 2.8 divided by negative 0.15, that's going to give me 18.67. So I can then say x minus 6 is equal to square root of 18.67. So when I do square root of this number, remember that it has plus or minus. So we're going to get x minus 6 is equal to plus or minus 4.32. So that means we're going to get x is equal to 6 plus or minus 4.32. Now, I can see that you guys are getting 10.32. I got a couple of 10.32s there. But there is also an answer, which is 6 minus this answer, which is going to be 1.668. Now, think about it like this, guys. If you shoot, I think it's a really good kind of visualization here. Like if you look at this graph, right, we've got 2.6 actually happens twice. Because if you think about it, there's a 2.6 that's here, and there's also here. And what we've actually figured out is the two values that we've just calculated, 1.68 is there, and 10.32 is there. Now, obviously, your garage cannot be at 10.32, because if it's at 10.32 and it's actually 5 meters long, then you're gonna actually end up what do you call it, hitting the garage, right? So there's a couple of situations that could actually happen here. The first situation is the minimum distance he can do it is 1.68 meters away from the garage, because if he's 1.68 meters away from the garage, then the rocket will actually go over the garage, because I've actually done the garage in yellow, as you guys can see it. But if you choose 10.32, then it is going to hit the garage. But here's the other thing. There is one other answer in this, because you can kind of say the minimum. I know the question's only asking how far from away the garage. Now you could actually add another bit to it, which is you could actually also say, because at 10.32, you could also go backwards. So if this is 10.32, this would be 5.32, because we know the garage is actually 5 meters in length. So as long as this person shoots the rocket between 1.68, minimum 1.68 or maximum of 5.32, it'll always pass over the garage. Spider Frog, anytime you do square root of a number, it is always plus or minus. Think about it like this. If I do square root of 9, it's going to be positive 3 times positive 3, or minus 3 times minus 3. And especially at TEG, you always have to do plus or minus when you do square root of a number. No. I didn't do 10.32 divided by 2, Ray. What I did was, like, from 10.32, the garage length is 5. So I went 10.32 minus 5 to get the 5.32. Look, did we actually need to use a graphics paper in this? No, we didn't. All we had to do was just draw a diagram and just visualize it. All right. Most of these quadratic questions are like that. Once you visualize the quadratic word question, you are pretty much good to go. Ethan, I'm just looking at that first part of that question. Ropes, I don't. The height was also measured 1 meter away from the pole to be. Okay, so Ethan, this was your question. I think we're going to do just that first part there. We'll do this part, the first part of your question, and then I will have to kind of call it, guys. And it could be negative 6.3. I'm not. The 1.68 is from 6. Sorry, I should have done that. I should have done 6 plus 4.32 equals 10.32. 6 minus 4.32 equals 1.68. Yes, Zoo. Sorry, I thought I actually pasted it. Pasted. I thought I linked it. Hang on. There you go. Sky, no, you're not getting two answers, but I'm just kind of extending the question for you guys. So sometimes if they do ask things like, oh, what happens? What's the maximum distance? You also understand how it works. That second part of 5.32 is not necessary. But the only reason I showed that was sometimes the questions do pop up where they go, hey, what happens here? Like, what's the maximum distance? You could also do that. All right, last question for the night, folks. We are kind of going with the parabolic theme there. So gonna try this question. So I'll give you guys a couple of minutes just to have a go. And then we can kind of call it after that. Yeah. Anna, it's because it's plus or minus. When you take square root of a number, you get plus or minus. So notice how I've done that with the 9 in the corner there. Square root of 9 is plus 3 times plus 3, or minus 3 times minus 3. Wait, are you saying just this part of the question is actually an excellence? If it is an excellence, that's like an easy gimme excellence right there. Alright, if you say so, because I'm going to say... Oh, yeah, this part, it could be worth 1t. Vishal, what I would say is try and do the same method as what we've been doing. Do the vertex form, and trust me, you are gonna be fine with this question. Alright guys, I'm gonna start doing this question. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put down some points here. This is terrible. I can't even see the... So there is my vertex, which is 0, 3. The other point that's quite valuable is the height was also measured 1 meter away from the pole to be 2.9 meters. So at 1 meter, this point here is 2.9. That's all the information I need, because I'm going to write down a x minus h squared plus v. I've got my h value, which is 0, my v value, which happens to be 3. Of course, none of the colors make sense here. So I've got y is equal to a x minus 0 squared plus 3. So y is equal to a x squared plus 3. I'm going to use the points 1, 2.9. So I'm going to get 2.9 equals a times 1 squared plus 3. So 2.9 is equal to a plus 3. And then a is equal to 2.9 minus 3, which gives me a is equal to negative 0.1. So now the equation is y equals to negative 0.1 x squared plus 3. Now the question is asking, what will the distance be on the ground between each brace? So they're actually asking, there's a brace on the ground level. They're asking for that pink line there. So I know that along that line, y is equal to 0. So I'm going to put down 0 is equal to negative 0.1 x squared plus 3. I'm going to shift this entire 0.1 x squared across, so it'll become positive, equals 3. Then x squared is equal to 3 divided by 0.1. X squared is equal to 3 divided by 0.1, which is going to be 30. And then I'm going to get x is equal to square root of 30, which is going to be 5 point something. I've got plus or minus 5.477. Now, keep in mind that the 5.47 plus is here, and the minus 5.477 is here. So if I want to calculate the pink line, all I got to do is I got to go 2 times this value, and I'm going to get, so distance on the ground, distance between braces is 2 times 5.477, and that's going to give me 10.95 meters, is it? Yep. There we go. That should, I think that will qualify as a E7 right there. think I answered Anna already. That was good. No worries, Lily. Catch you later. Noah, I just get these questions sent by people. They just screenshot it and send it to me, and I kind of just work through it. I have no idea where these questions come from. I just kind of try and work it through as much as I can. Look, Vishal, anytime you see a parabola, like, look, let me be honest. Like, anytime you see a parabola, just come up with the vertex form. And usually they're trying to ask, like, either they give you the x value and ask you to find the y value, or they give you the y value and then they ask you to find the x value. That's pretty much what they do. Like, even in the previous question, the rocket question, you know, you kind of knew that it had to pass the garage and so on. Is there another live before? I think my schedule currently is today we are here. I think we've got one on Monday next week, and then just a really brief one, guys, on Wednesday. I'm probably going to be like not running a tutorial as such, but just if people have questions, like, I'm probably going to point you to where it is. I'm not going to run like a exact kind of like, oh, I'm going to cover this, any questions. It's more like, hey, I need some help learning quadratics quickly. Here you go. Here's a tutorial. Off you go. That's what I'm going to be doing on that Wednesday. All right. So our last tutorial is going to be on Monday. And then help desk is basically just me kind of guiding you guys to the required tutorials on the night, because it's just crazy on the night otherwise to try and do that. Oh, because the level 2 maths is in the morning of that Wednesday. It's just a reminder for me that that's when the exam is for that. Spider Frog, I don't think I'll have time, my friend, because it's Paloma, step graphs is like, look, I'll just kind of give you a quick run. Actually, no, even before a rundown, like I did do some tutorials on it in the playlist. I just don't know where it is, but Jonathan, you don't need to, Jonathan. I don't know why we keep doing this. So step graphs, it's one of these things. I just can't remember for the life of me which one it is. I must have done it in 2023, 21 maybe. Oh, come on, really? I gotta watch ads for my own stuff. That's just crazy. Okay, what I'll do is, I think I have an idea. I might just see when I did it, because usually the step graphs are in my old notes. Did I do one last year? Level 3, level 1. Oh, here we go. There's a bit of step graph here. So this was on the 9th of November 2022. So 9th of November. How come I don't have it here? Oh, 9th of November 2022. Here we go. So it looks like I covered some step graphs there. So if you have a look through that, there we go. 9th of November. I'll send the link for you. Hopefully that helps you there, Paloma. I think so. Oh, no worries. Can't remember, but no worries. And you're welcome. Doing a quick chance and data tutorial. No, Caleb, not doing any tutorials for stats at the moment. Just trying to get the videos out more than anything else. Where is it? Geometric. Sky, usually I just make them up on the spot. Most of the time it's it works out. Sometimes it doesn't actually work out at all, so it kind of like stuffs up. Anyway, guys, look, that's me for the night today. Uh, as you can see, it's like I think towards the end of the tutorial cycle, I kind of get excited. Although I will share this one thing because you know I always encourage people to make mistakes. Today I ended up making a huge mistake. For those of you that kind of know, like, you know, I'm obsessed with my blue and red hat, which is something that I just wear all the time. So story goes like this, like, you know, I mean, if you remember, my blue hat has got a little Infinity Plus One logo here. So I try to do this for this hat, right? So there I am trying to work on this hat, and I put the logo on, and I basically find out that when I wore it and I had a look and I was like, what the hell, where is my logo? I can't actually find it, and I'm sure I put that on. And yeah, so basically I put it in the wrong place. So it's actually not here, but it's right at the back here. And so it looks kind of weird, but yeah, so somehow I managed to put it on the back. No, this side, the back of it, which was stupid, but guess what? We make mistakes. It was funny because it's like my wife's like, oh, why did you put it there? Because it's like, and I'm like, look, I thought I was putting it on this side here, and then end up making a mistake. So there you go. I only made two. I made two, and I gave it out to a couple of kids in Westlake. But I'll actually try and make. I need to try and make some more. I guess that's what I was thinking, Anna. I was like, oh, maybe I'll just wear it. Maybe from the back you're gonna see it. Anyway, guys, look, take care. Thank you again for joining today. And I guess I will catch you guys on Sunday's tutorial. Yep, Sunday night's tutorial. Till then, take care, and then I will try and see if I can try and pull out another video, but I doubt it because I'm getting excited, like quite tired. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, who here is actually from Hobsonville? I'm coming down to Hobsonville on Sunday for a little visit to a little event. So if you're from Hobsonville, it'd be nice to see you for that event. There's a little Diwali event happening there, so if you're there, it'd be nice to come and come and say hi. Otherwise, whenever my next visit is, I'll see you guys then in real life. Now I got invited to a Diwali event there, Terry. No, it's this. I think this week on Saturday they're doing an event in out in Hobsonville. There's a community event. So hey, I think it was Peggy. I think it's Peggy. Is it Peggy? Yeah, you just gotta get one of your teachers to message me, because it's just, I mean, it's doable, but it's just, I can't just rock on up to random schools. Especially to Mags. I know there's quite a few of you from Mags that's been asking. So well, Anna, I was supposed to try and organize a visit with Mr. Subramani and Miss Wright, and I just kept putting it off. Like, I mean, I got busy with a couple of things, and then I got busy after that. I did go to Pakuranga, Terry. That's where it all started. That was where my first stop was. What's cool is that, Peggy? Yeah, it's quite. That was kind of a nice. Yeah, it was just he kind of messaged me and he said, "Oh, can you do a shout out for my class?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? It's not gonna take long." Oh, you're talking about Mr. Walden from Mount Albert. Yeah, he's a good mate of mine. Nah, Jonathan, I was actually trying to. I was very quiet when I came to Pakuranga. I just kind of came and crashed one calculus class, and that was it. Not many people knew I was kind of snuck into his class. It was because I was there for ePro 8 with my school kids, and then next thing you know, it's like I just went and popped in and said hi to him. Love it, Kunal. I don't even know where to start. Right. Anyway, guys, look, take care. Have a good night. I need like a little bit of a break, and I'm just like tossing up whether I should do a probability video or not. Wait. No worries, Marco. You're welcome, man. So, all right. Take care, guys. Catch you later. Till the next time, eh?